Welcome, everyone. On behalf of Heal Canada, I'd like to thank everyone for joining us today in this interactive webinar entitled Rebuilding Iron, Rebuilding Energy, Simple Nutrition Strategies for Iron Deficiency Anemia. This webinar is part of a national patient advocacy initiative in partnership with 360 Life Sciences Consulting and supported by Pfizer Canada. It's my pleasure tonight to introduce our host, Sue Lemoine, for an interactive workshop. Sue is a licensed holistic nutrition practitioner and menopause specialist who supports women in restoring energy, vitality, and metabolic health through whole food nutrition and lifestyle foundations. Her work focuses on helping women over 40 navigate midlife changes, including fatigue, nutrients depletion, and iron deficiency, using practical food-first strategies. Sue is the founder of Flourish Holistic Nutrition and the Butterfly Garden community, where she guides women to rebuild strength and well-being from the inside out. I'm sure Sue's presentation will be very insightful and will have a lot of good tips and insights around iron deficiency anemia from a nutrition perspective. Housekeeping notes, I'll keep an eye on the Q&A. We will have around 30 minutes as far as presentation, and then we will open the floor for questions. And this webinar is recorded. Sue, the floor is yours.
Okay. Did you want to go through the disclaimer at all? Did you want me to do that?
No, yeah, feel free to do it. Yeah, please.
Okay, so I will just continue. So thank you for, I'm just going to, there we go. Okay, so thank you for being here today. If you're dealing with iron deficiency anemia, you already know how exhausting it can feel. And sometimes when you've been tired for a long time, you can almost forget what it's like to have steady energy. Today, my goal is simple: to make the nutrition piece feel doable, practical, and aligned with the way you already eat. Because your body wants to rebuild. Sometimes it just needs the right support. So we have got a disclaimer here. This slide is just for educational purposes only. It is not medical. Pardon me?
Apologies, Sue. I don't think we can see your slides yet.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
So, just hang on here. Sorry, I don't think a little bit of technical problems here.
No problem. Take your time, Sue. I'll try to find them and maybe I can share them and we can
yeah, because I don't seem to see where the recording. I've got my slides up here, but I don't.
Okay. Okay.
Oh, hang on
Just
here.
give me one second.
Okay. So sorry, everybody. Okay, so I don't know if I'm a host. Let's see. Can you see it now?
100%. Perfect. Thank you. And it looks great.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so we had a little bit of issues with the sharing. Okay, so we went through the disclaimer. Oh, did we go through the disclaimer?
I don't think so.
Okay, so Okay, so my slides. Okay, so this is for educational purposes only. It is not medical advice. And always, always, always consult a healthcare professional for your own medical issues and your own medical. Your doctor knows the best thing for you. So talk to a qualified healthcare provider. And Heal Canada and the webinar host assume no responsibility for any actions taken based on the information presented. So many people minimize iron deficiency. They say, I'm just tired. But we all know that this kind of fatigue is different. When oxygen delivery is low, every single cell feels it. And if you've been feeling brain fog, constant fatigue, hair loss, shortness of breath, cold intolerance, dizziness, you're not imagining it. Your body is actually communicating with you. It gives you all of these symptoms and it says, I need some help. And so it's up to us to try to figure out what it is that our body needs. And the beautiful thing is when we understand the message, we can respond in ways that begin restoring strength. So iron's primary role is carrying oxygen in your blood. And oxygen equals energy. So therefore, when your oxygen is low, it's not about motivation. So a lot of times when our oxygen is low, we feel just lethargic and we just feel like we don't have any energy. So it's not about that at all. It's really about physiology. And once you understand that, you can begin to think, how do I help my body rebuild oxygen capacity? And so that's what we're here today. Because that shift alone can feel empowering, especially if you know some of the tips that I'm going to share with you in a few minutes. So as you look at these foods, beef and bison, sardines, liver, lamb, dark meat, poultry, you might already notice that one feels familiar or accessible. So which one of these things you already eat? Because you don't need to eat all of them. Sometimes just adding one iron-rich protein 2 to 3 times per week can begin shifting levels over time. And if red meat feels intimidating, even small portions, consistency in nutrition matters most rather than perfection. So when we're trying to change any kind of habits or when we're trying to add things in, it's not about perfection because we're just learning. It's about trying to be consistent with our habits and being consistent with our learning habits, I guess. So those of you who are vegetarian, vegan,
Sue had some internet difficulties. She's here again. Bear with us, please. Just to remind you that you can always drop your questions now in the chat or in the Q&A. And while Sue is coming back to us with the slides to continue the presentation, Also reminding you that this is part of a series of webinars, so please follow Heal Canada for updates on upcoming events and education sessions within this important topic of iron deficiency anemia in the framework of patient advocacy initiative by Heal Canada.
Okay, so where did we leave off? I'm on slide 7. Did you hear this slide at all?
I don't think we can see it yet.
Are we still having issues?
Can't see the slides.
You can't see the slides. Oh dear. Okay, let's see if I can share the screen again. Can you see them now?
Yes, now we can see.
Wow, this is a little bit of a mess, isn't it? Okay, so did you guys hear my slide 7?
This one is new.
Okay, so slide 7 is for you, those of you who are vegetarian or vegan or culturally plant forward, iron foods are absolutely still possible. It just simply becomes more strategic. And I have got a PDF that I've prepared for everybody, and it lists all of the foods that help. As I go through this presentation, I'll be listing a bunch of different foods, so don't worry about writing them down because I will give you a PDF at the end. I'll give you a link. Because sometimes when people hear that plant iron absorbs less efficiently, they can feel a bit discouraged. But when we pair it properly, absorption can dramatically improve, which means that you don't need to change who you are or how you eat. You just have to refine. So some of the vegetarian options are lentils, pumpkin seeds, chickpeas, spinach, black beans, quinoa, tofu, and tempeh. So if you are vegetarian, you're already familiar with these foods. So these are the ones that are really high in iron. So this is one of my favorite parts because iron loves vitamin C. And when you pair iron-rich foods with vitamin C foods, absorption can nearly double. So instead of thinking, what do I eliminate? You begin thinking, what can I add? So think of a squeeze of lemon or a few bell peppers or some strawberries. Small additions can make a huge impact. So as you begin noticing these pairings, it becomes second nature. So vitamin C foods are citrus, bell peppers, kiwi, tomatoes, strawberries. And all of these, you add them to whatever iron food that you're eating, and we double it. So I think that that's kind of amazing. So don't feel fearful about this first item. When we see tea and coffee and that it blocks iron absorption, we start to panic, right? But you don't have to eliminate it. You just have to time it better. It's all about timing. Tea and coffee are not the enemy, but when consumed with iron-rich meals, they can reduce absorption. So it's just something to keep in mind. So maybe instead of removing your morning coffee, you might simply shift it an hour or two before or after a meal. So don't drink it with your meal, just have it before or after. So you can still have your coffee, just time it a little bit different. Because sometimes small timing adjustments can make huge improvements. So I want to emphasize this. Iron supportive eating can work with your culture. It works with Indian cuisine. We can have lentil, dal, and lemon. These are just some examples because I don't know exactly all of the different cultures. Mediterranean, lamb and tomato salad, black beans and citrus salsa. Just add some lemon to your salsa. Middle Eastern can be chickpeas and parsley and lemon again, your citrus. Vegetarian could be a tofu stir fry with your bell peppers. You don't have to abandon your traditions. Often we simply enhance what you already eat with your diet. So you just add your citrus to your protein and to your iron-rich foods. And when you realize it, it becomes easy and sustainable. Over time, consistency is what matters. So instead of complicated meal plans, try this question. How can I add iron and vitamin C to this meal? So when you're planning a meal, how can you add your iron-rich foods and your vitamin C so that you get more iron absorption? So that's it. When your brain simplifies the process, it feels manageable, not overwhelming. And when it's manageable, it's easy to repeat. And when you can repeat it, it becomes effective and you start feeling better. I truly believe that there is so much power in food. There's so much that you can do with food alone. And food is easy, or it can be easy. Once you learn all of the little secrets, especially for adding iron and vitamin C. So your basic formula is your protein source, your iron-rich food, and your vitamin C food. So a sample for an iron supportive day. Now, this is just an example. It's not a prescription, and you may already see ways that you would adapt this to your preferences. So based on some of the foods that I've given you as examples before, this is just some of the ways that you can maybe put some of that stuff together. So for breakfast, you can try eggs and sauteed spinach, maybe some orange slices. Lunch can be lentil soup and tomato salad. You've got your tomatoes in there. Snack, pumpkin seeds and kiwi. Kiwi's the vitamin C. Dinner, beef stir fry and broccoli and bell peppers. This is exactly what I want you to start to think that it is sustainable and doable within whatever you're trying to incorporate into your meal. And don't think that you have to follow anything perfectly, because that's not life. That's not realistic. Think instead, how can I make this work for me? How can I adjust it to my own eating style? So iron recovery isn't just about food. It's about timing of the meals and not skipping meals. Frying pans when you can. And if you're cycling, manage heavy menstrual cycles with your doctor's care. Of course, we're always including our doctor in any kind of plan or any kind of adjustment that we're doing. And supporting your gut health by eating whole foods with, again, medical guidance. Adding food supports like supplements if your doctor directs. Following medical care is essential, as we discussed at the very beginning. All of the above creates restoration and ease for your body. When your body is strong and healthy, it can fight for you. Because your immune also strengthens. When we can feed our body whole food and we can give it supportive food, it strengthens everything in us. And don't forget about water. Water is so important too. 8 to 10 glasses every day. Remember that iron deficiency recovery takes time. You may not feel better next week, maybe not even next month. It depends on how depleted and how weakened your body is. But always remember, food is nourishment, which gives life, and your body always responds to proper nutrition. And when you give it steady support, you'll begin noticing some shifts. You'll start to feel better. You might feel more alive, more energy. You might feel less dizziness, clearer thinking. And those small shifts build momentum, because once you start feeling better, you start to think, this is working. This can work for me. And you keep adding it. And that's what adds to your consistency, is your hope for getting better, right? So this is it. That was a short and sweet presentation. Now that we've kind of got over our little hiccups. So does anybody have any questions? I'd really love to hear what feels the hardest for you right now. Is it meal planning? Is it maybe vegetarian options? Is what you've learned today with all of the meal pairing and all the citrus and everything, is that something that you feel is doable? I'm going to stop sharing.
Thank you, Sue. That was really informative. And I know it's not actually short slides, actually very, very informative and educative slides. You made it really simple, easy, and straightforward, and we appreciate that. That's such a great presentation, and definitely the nutrition piece and is a big part of managing iron deficiency anemia. And as you said, really always having hope that this can be managed in addition to, of course, other interventions with the diet. Small changes can make a big difference. You also mentioned the consistency um, and definitely super helpful for everyone, the public, and especially people that are dealing with iron deficiency anemia. So thank you for that. We have a couple of questions. I know you asked very interesting questions towards the end of the presentation. We also had two questions in the Q&A. The first one by Fatin. Are you aware of any studies on replenishing iron from diet alone in case of low iron stores, uh, on just on the lower limit? That's not re that's not not really deficient, or just to pair it with iron supplements in case of deficiency.
I think that to answer this question, it's really, really important to get a blood test done on your iron stores, because you don't really want to start over supplementing with iron if you don't need it. Talk to your doctor about that. And I think that it's always healthy to rotate iron-rich foods within. It gets a variety of food. Think the rainbow when you're looking at your vegetables, because each vegetable or each color is a different vitamin, it's a different mineral. Rotate all of your proteins. And the more variety that you put into your diet, the better your body, the more nutrition that your body will get. And so those deficiencies might not happen unless, of course, it's a lot of times it's a genetic thing, right? And work with your doctor with that. Work with your blood tests, and your doctor should be able to inform you how much iron that you need to support your body with. Also, if you'll need supplementation. So it depends on how low your iron is to begin with. So hopefully that answers your question.
Too soon?
I think with supplements in anything, some I'm so sorry about this.
Problem.
No, it's okay.
Yeah, go ahead, Fatim, please.
Okay. First, thank you, Sue, for a lovely presentation. Um, are you hearing me?
Pardon me?
Yeah, we can hear you,
Okay.
Fatim.
Yes. Okay. So, Sue, I was thanking you for a lovely presentation, and
Thank you.
um, so I'm a pharmacist, and I see every single day patients asking for iron supplements or coming with asking for a recommendation because they did a lab work. The strange thing is that sometimes patients come and they haven't seen their lab results. Their doctor only told them that you have low iron stores or you have anemia. And when I ask them, did they test your iron, like ferritin? And they say no. So, okay, we recommend iron, but I tell them you should know your iron stores before taking supplements. And even if it's the most common type of anemia and you want to replenish your iron stores, so at least after taking 1 to 2 months, you should ask your doctor to do you the test for you to see if it's working or not. So we see this a lot every day in the pharmacy.
I think that my connection seems to be going in and out, so I really apologize. I didn't hear your whole question, but I what to recommend. Um, yeah, it's really hard. And from a pharmacist's point of view, when you're coming, when people are coming to you and you don't really know exactly what their levels are, it's really, really hard for you to give them any kind of advice. And I think, yeah, I'm not even I'm not even sure what to even say with that because it's it's something that we all see. I see that also with my menopause clients as well. They don't get the proper tests. So because the doctors are only allowed to give certain tests, right? So it's really hard for us to go and recommend something if we don't have all of the information.
Yeah.
So hopefully I talked to because like I said, you were cutting in and out. So hopefully my response made sense for you.
No, yes, thank you. It's okay.
Yeah, I find that frustrating as well too. So what do you usually tell the people that come? Do you just give them something general?
So yes, depending if for example, they had done a lab work. So sometimes there are people who come asking for a specific brand. So they've been taking iron and they only just want to buy another box. But there are certain new patients who come asking for either showing a prescription of iron or asking a recommendation because their doctor told them they had anemia. So we recommend, different type of iron salts and depending on their budget. So,
Yeah,
and we tell
that's a
them
big thing
that
too.
because we have different types of iron supplements, some are a little bit more expensive than others. And we tell them so it's a trial and error. Um, Most of them are effective. Some may need more time to build iron stores, like have a higher ferritin, but it also depends on their tolerance towards this supplement. So if they are
Hmm.
okay, it's a trial and error, they can continue with it. If they feel they have a more side effect like gastric upset, constipation, so they will have to try another one.
Yeah, iron sometimes can be hard to supplement because there can be some side effects for sure.
Yeah. So sometimes I ask them if do you have like a sensitive stomach? Do you have digestive problems? So if they have, I would recommend something more gentle, which is, there are some supplements which are gentle and have lower side effects than others.
Yeah, I think that's sometimes it can be a hard call for sure.
Yeah.
I did put in the chat of the form for the PDF, so you can put it with the recording if you're able to piece together the recording properly. And the first one is that for the PDF for the list of iron-rich foods. The next one is my contact, my email, and then the other one is for my community that I have for menopausal women too. So if anybody wants to take a look at that.
So much, Sue, for sharing those. I'm sure especially the IDA list is going to be super helpful. I know we had another question for you, Sue. This is from Cheryl. Can we start slow with one meal at a time? I guess in terms of iron-rich
Yeah,
meals.
I think that's a really good question because I think a lot of people think that they have to do everything all at once in order to get better. But as I said in the presentation, any little move forward will compound. And so that will start a habit. You start with one meal or even one ingredient in one meal, and then just keep adding it as you're able to remember, as you're able to get that consistency, so that forms a habit, and you're thinking about putting that iron and that citrus together, or the iron and the vitamin C together, like your citrus and your kiwi and all that other those foods that I had mentioned. But I think start where you're at and then add. So if you're not doing any iron-rich foods whatsoever, start slow and just build on that. One day, one meal at a time. And if you start slow, then that can form the habit. Because if you do everything all at once, sometimes it's too much of a change all at once, and then you get frustrated because you can't keep up with that. But if you start slow and you keep adding to it, then that builds more consistency and a better habit.
Thank you so much, Sue. And I think there's that piece to having something more sustainable, right? That can be accumulating and just building upon improvements. That's for sure.
Absolutely.
We'll keep the floor open for questions. If you can think about, I know there might be a lot of questions with regards to nutrition and for iron deficiency anemia. And by the way, Sue, I like personally in your presentation, I really like uh, how you're giving the flexibility, the reassurance for IDA patients that they don't have to do dramatic changes regardless what their nutrition preferences are. There are always options. As we don't want people to feel stuck or restricted because they follow certain diets for one reason or the other. So I really appreciate that, giving more options and reassurance.
And
And
that's what I find most nutrition is
yeah,
let's adapt it to where you're at and just change little things at a time. That's where success lies, right? Changing little things at a
absolutely.
time.
Absolutely, Sue. And when we're doing these things in terms of patient advocacy, this is what we focus on, really acknowledging the patient experience, the patient preferences, like uh, rather than just uh, maybe imposing certain solutions. So it's a shared decision, and it's a great conversation that you're having with the patients. And I am not surprised because I know from Cheryl that you're not only a nutritionist, but you're also a strong patient advocate, and you've been contributing to our three to Heal Canada's E3 advocacy magazine since the first publication. So I'm sure Heal Canada is proud of that, and I think
Thank
that
you.
this all fits together in terms of the science of and the nutrition practice, but at the same time, um, approaching all of this from a patient perspective, which is really really appreciated.
Yeah, and if anybody has any questions whatsoever in any kind of nutrition, I've got my email there. Reach out to me, please, anytime, and I will help you walk through whatever challenges that you're facing, because that's why I do what I do, is to help people, right? Just get healthier.
Thank you. I
Thank
think
you,
we have
Sue.
one more. Yeah, again, the floor is open if any of the participants would like to ask Sue any question, or if you have any comment or feedback with regards to the presentation, please feel free to unmute and share, or just drop it in the Q&A or chat. I think there's one more question with regards to when a woman is in her cycle, is there something she should do or not do to combat the IDA? I guess maybe more like to prevent, or just to be more proactive when it comes to
I
developing IDA at some point.
Yeah, I think that that's a really good question, Cheryl. Because as a woman cycles, um, as we know, our iron and our blood and everything is at different levels at different times. So one of the biggest ways to find out if you are becoming IDA is through blood tests with your doctor, but just really be mindful of eating iron-rich foods, especially when you're in your cycle, you're menstruating, and be really conscious of eating all of those iron-rich foods, pairing them with citrus, and because none of that food will harm you. Um, Supplementation is different because those are different amounts of iron, and those are what you should be talking to your doctor about. But general food, um, I think it's really important to be aware of eating that iron and that citrus together.
Thank you, Sue. Great
You're
question,
welcome.
Cheryl. Thank you. I know we still have 5 minutes. If you have one more opportunity, if any of the participants has anything to share or any question to ask, you can always reach out later on to Sue as well
Yeah,
over her email.
absolutely. Please
Sue.
do. That's what I'm here for. I like to help. Nutrition is my passion. So it's never a bother to talk to people about something that you're passionate about, because I really feel that food is our powerhouse, and it can regulate us, and it can also deregulate us, especially if we're eating a lot of preservatives, a lot of those chemicals that we sometimes ingest through our food. Keep our food really whole food, and your body will just respond. It is just so powerful.
Great advice. Great advice. And we'll definitely be posting the recording of this amazing webinar on Heal Canada's channels. So please share the news, and definitely for future webinars or sessions within the IDA Patient Advocacy Initiative by Heal Canada, please follow Heal Canada on the socials. We will be also follow Heal Canada on the YouTube channel. Heal Canada has two publications, E3 Advocacy and My Blood, My Health. There's a lot of interesting topics, and also more than happy to take contributions also to those two important publications as well. Sue, any final thoughts or final recommendations before wrapping up?
Um, no, I just want people to know that I'm here. I love helping people. And please reach out if you come up with any other questions, or if you're kind of struggling with maybe some of the food pairing, or it's not quite working with your diet or your lifestyle. Because if we do not put our diet and lifestyle together, it's not sustainable. And then we struggle, and then we just really aren't able to continue on with nourishing our bodies properly, I guess.
Great
So
perspective for IDA and for healthy living in general. So thank you for that, Sue.
you're
By that,
welcome.
we're
Thank you for
concluding our
having me.
webinar. Thank you. It's our pleasure. Thank you, everyone, for joining, and wish everyone a very pleasant evening.
Thank you, everyone. It was a pleasure.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.